On today's show, campers get ready for winter with a most unique fall get-together.
Because we're weird.
This story proves wishes do come true.
Yes, this is great.
A Beagler hits the hunting trail, and so do the winter bikes. Just be warned, this sport comes with challenges.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. So sad. About the only snow you're going to find around these parts right now is the man-made stuff at the parks. But even so, winter campers get excited. You see, they head up to Sturgeon Lake, Minnesota for a big-time event called the Winter Camping Symposium.
When was the last time you met people with ants in their pants?
Yeah, look at that. We got matching hats.
A YMCA camp full of excited daydreamers.
Last year, it was raining like a son of a gun.
A community that likes to winter camp.
Because we're weird.
Every October, people from all over the place come to Camp Miller, home to Minnesota's Winter Camping Symposium.
The motto of this particular gathering is wood smoke, wool, and weirdos.
Laverne Flack drove all day.
9 hours and 45 minutes, that included my stops.
Takashi Asaka came from a bit further away.
Yeah, he's all the way from Japan.
There's another one of those Canucks over there.
A fall reunion, a ritual, a chance to peek at new gear and trade camping tips.
I was showing you this last time.
Yeah, I remember.
The symposium allows this crowd to dream of a dreadfully cold and snowy winter.
Yes.
If only it could come sooner.
You wouldn't believe how comfortable these tents are. On a cold evening, you get in here, you get this stove cranked up. It's really luxurious.
Good thing, too.
Yes, this is great.
Really? I mean, how cliche.
5-6 inches today.
The first big snow on the first night of winter camp.
It is cool. We've had some years in shorts, but waking up this morning, it felt like we were in our element. We relish this. We look forward to it. We sit around and celebrate this.
Dave Delafield
We've carved a pothook.
came from Canada
Yes, that's right.
in sandals.
If you wear really breathable footwear, you actually stay a lot warmer. I find it quite comfortable, but I wouldn't want to wade out through the wet snow today.
Rob and Lonnie jump right out the storm in rather old school gear.
Yeah, this is pre-1840s, most of it. But we've been camping traditional style since about 2001.
My friends think I'm a saint for going with them.
This is the knot that you will use over and over and over again.
Symposium guests get a chance to learn new skills.
Go over and this way.
There you
and
go.
Down. Okay.
Like building snowshoes or sewing a simple gear bag.
It's the self-satisfaction of making your own equipment and your own gear. You take care of it a little bit better and you appreciate it. And if you wreck it, you know how to fix it. So
Susan Chisholm
Let me try it.
weaves her way through a first pair of snowshoes.
and then you can pull her tight. Well, you can also pull it off, dear, but you don't. Not that tight.
Not that tight. I don't do knots well. This is really amazing.
Sure is. Summer camp-like fun for people who love winter.
And outdoors and playing outdoors, having fun is kind of the name of the game.
We are a fairly unique group of folks who just seem to enjoy winter in the woods more than anything.
The idea to not only survive, but thrive out in all of this. It's a Minnesota thing.
It is a prep for us. It is a celebration of what's to come, and apparently it came to.
Coming up, a hunting tale worthy of earplugs. We meet Minnesota's Lady Beagler, and we get wild in the kitchen, Deer Camp Edition.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers, Rapala Ice Force, Star Bank, and by Connecticut.
Way up in northern Minnesota, Travis Frank found a hunter who likes to stick to traditional means. Katie Barnard prefers very loud hunts in the snow.
On a cold winter morning, silence blankets northern Minnesota's forest. But this serenity ends at Katie Barnard's front door. Inside, her beagles can't hide their excitement.
Oh yeah, they know where they're going. I'm excited.
Well, I can't pick favorites. Jay is 9, Millie is 11, and Gertie is 8.
Millie leads by example.
She's the natural. The other two were taught by her.
Sniff around a little bit, they'll probably jump a rabbit.
These rabbit hunters let you know when they find one.
When they get on one, when they jump it, they start to howl and squeal, and they naturally run the rabbit in a circle.
It's the rabbit's way of trying to confuse their following predator.
You hope you're in the right spot and it runs right past you.
Easier said than done.
That's Millie right behind us. And the barking gets louder and louder and louder as they get closer.
Kind of sounds like she's coming this way.
It's pretty exciting that you know the rabbit's probably coming and you should be ready.
I just saw one right in the bushes right there, and the dogs are pretty close behind it.
Like a ghost, the snowshoe hare
He went that way.
disappears.
We miss quite a bit. We're not always in the right place at the right time.
Come on, come.
It doesn't really matter if you get a rabbit or not. It's the fun of taking the dogs out and letting them have fun.
Pick him up, Jay. He's in here somewhere. Come on. Even though they're working really hard, they're having a lot of fun. You can tell. They got Happy Tail.
Happy Tail hopefully leads to a rabbit in the bag. But a rabbit would be good girl. Just a bonus.
Oh, there it goes.
For Katie, this hunt
There goes a rabbit.
has a bigger picture.
Rabbit hunting is definitely all about the dogs. They're my kids. I've never not had a beagle since I was born. My grandpa and his dad had dogs.
So did her father, Gary.
My dad ran foxhounds when he was a kid, and we gradually got into some coonhounds, and beagles was kind of an extension of that.
He gave Katie a beagle early on, and her love for them stuck.
She's always liked her beagles, and we've been hunting them all along.
Little did he know, the hound dog passion they shared would only grow with time.
I really enjoy spending time with him. We do a lot of stuff together, hunting, trapping, fishing. I do have 2 older brothers, but he took me out too, and I think it worked out pretty good for him because I've ended up being his best hunting partner.
They just keep trying to circle around this one.
One rabbit track to the next. They follow Katie's beagles.
Good girl.
Watching.
And Gertie.
Waiting. And listening.
I love that sound.
Hoping for a chance. and a clear shot.
Another day, another rabbit gets away. You did good. You did real good.
Rabbit or not,
I saw it, but it didn't get it.
Katie never goes home empty-handed,
That's a good girl. Good job. Come on, Jake.
leaving only fresh tracks in the snow. The forest, once again, goes quiet.
Ready for the pan.
Up next, Laura Schara gets you ready for the holidays with a favorite December recipe.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Border View Lodge.
It's time for Laura Schara to get wild in the kitchen. On the menu this week, a deer camp tradition.
Happy holidays from Wild in the Kitchen. I'm here with Chef Jim Kimberg from Firelight Grill House and Cocktail Bar, and today we are making something special for you and your family to enjoy for Christmas and over the holidays, and we are making venison roast.
Venison roast. We got the back straps. We're going to roast them up.
Which is the prime part of the deer.
Most definitely.
Awesome. So I'm noticing we have very few ingredients in front of us.
We've got venison, we've got salt, we've got pepper. We're going back to the basics on this one.
I love it. So what are the first steps?
First step, we're going to take this roast and we're going to remove that silver skin, get it ready to sear off.
Okay.
So the silver skin is that little protective layer on top. You just want to take the tip of your knife, kind of poke it through and see how I'm grabbing at the end?
Oh, I see.
And it just kind of slips right off. The meat underneath the silver skin, tender and delicious. Silver skin, not so much. That's it.
All right, we're ready to go. Now it's time for seasonings.
It is.
The simple seasonings.
Simple is best. So you can be a little generous with that salt and pepper. And then we want both sides to taste good, so we're going to flip it over.
Of course we do.
And we're going to do the same on the back.
Okay. Next steps.
Ready for the pan. So I've got a preheated, nice heavy bottom cast iron pan. A little bit of olive oil. So one little trick when you're putting it in the pan, make sure you drop it away. So if it does splash, it doesn't splash towards you. Yep.
So how many minutes on each side for the venison roast?
Well, right now we just want to get that nice sear, that caramelization, that crust. So it's about 2 to 3 minutes on each side, and then we're going to roast it at 350 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. Oh, look at that. We're going for that 125 degrees internal temperature. Take it out, let it rest. It might climb to about 130. It's going to give us that perfect medium rare. So we got our platter in front of us.
Ooh, beautiful.
Got this beautiful roast venison that's been rested.
We rested this for how many minutes?
5 minutes, yes,
people.
at least 5 minutes. So you can tell when we slice into it, those juices aren't rolling out. Look at that, beautiful. So when you cook it like this, you're not going to hear those comments that it's gamey, that it's dry, that it's tough. This is tender, this is juicy, this is really flavorful. So definitely fitting for that holiday feast. Then I've also prepared a little bit of roasted vegetables,
Ooh,
potatoes.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, onions, carrots, parsnips.
Well, this looks absolutely amazing, but I'm noticing we have a little sauce here, special sauce.
So that's a reduction of beef stock and red wine that we've deglazed and cooked down,
A red
concentrated.
wine reduction
Yes.
sauce. So there you have it. The holidays, of course, are all about family and tradition, and this is an opportunity to share your hunting tradition with your loved ones. So we're both wishing you a wildly delicious holiday season.
Straight ahead, we hit the winter trail for a bike stomp. We explain next.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Ellsworth Cooperative Creamery, Radco Truck Accessories, Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Well, I have my snowshoes ready for the woods. Now we just need snow. A small group of Minnesota adventurers can relate. Get this, they strap on snowshoes so they can ride bikes.
Turn on the lights.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Slap on the snowshoes and waddle on down the path.
Tonight we're actually going to stomp the trail.
A stomp?
We got 6-8 inches of snow and we need to pack the trail down so that we can get our bikes on it. The best way to do that is to get snowshoes and go out there and stomp.
Stomp? Stomp for what?
We're with the Minnesota Off-Road Cyclists. We're an advocacy and trail building organization. We build mountain bike trails, pretty much any of the mountain bike trails in the Twin Cities. The problem is we get a lot of snow and it's just too deep for us to get through with our bicycles. So what we do is somebody declares a group stomp, like what's happening tonight.
Well, the stomping isn't maybe the funnest thing in the world, but you know, it's good when we get a lot of friends out here and we just have a good time walking around.
Probably got a quarter to a half a mile until we get to a rock crossing. We're going to want to stomp down that rock crossing pretty nicely because it's an obstacle. It's fun to do.
Most of the stompers are avid mountain bike riders who believe a little snow, or even lots of snow, needn't end their bike rides.
The next step that'll happen is we'll bring in what we call the fat bikes. It's the Surly, Pugsley, and a couple knockoff brands. They actually have 4-inch wide tires, and that's what we'll be riding. And we'll get out there and ride, hopefully ride it in if it's packed enough.
Before the biking, however, comes the stomping. And so they stomp and stomp, stomp the night away.
Forward, mush. It's buried now, but there's actually it's cool rock right there that we like to ride over.
My, such enthusiasm for riding over the rocks. Bob acts like it's summer and dresses for it too.
It looks kind of funny, but it probably doesn't look any funny than if you're looking at me in leotards. So, but the Hawaiian shirt, they're cheap. They make a nice windbreaker, they breathe, and it's been kind of a trademark for me.
This is a Surly Pugsley. It's built so that the frame can accommodate big fat tires. So you see these are like 3.8, basically 4 inches wide. That's going to help us float over the snow better.
Getting ready for a good ride this morning. Beautiful snow, should be fun.
And so off they go, like a dog sled on fat tires.
I like the challenge. The snow, it changes every time you ride. There's something different. The trail just kind of, you know, becomes slippery one time, grippy one time. The obstacles get covered or partially covered. So it's always kind of an adaptive trail. You never know what you're going to get. So a split second, you could be off the trail, and some of us actually do go off the trail.
You know, I think a big part of it's the camaraderie with your friends. You know, we're each kind of egging each other on and pushing each other to see what we can do out here, and you know, that's a big part of it for me.
I got started in the mountain biking probably about 10, 11 years ago. A friend of mine loaned me a bike and said, "You got to come out and do this." I borrowed his bike, and of course I crashed it, and then I had to get a bike of my own, and now I don't know how many of them are hanging in the basement.
Alas, as in any pursuit of life's escapes, there are always reality checks.
It's tough when you get off and it's an upslope. It's hard to get back on your bike and get the wheels going forward.
Yes, but the joy of biking in the cold always seems to override the task of stomping those rocky trails.
It's a beautiful day out here today. It's really sticking to it.
Almost like a taste of summer.
Fun stuff. Did you actually see that guy go over the handlebars? At least he had a soft landing in the powder. Well, that about does it for us this week. Both Ron and Raven are back next week. In the meantime, don't forget to introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. To get more Minnesota Bound, including full episodes, go to mnbound.com. And to follow our latest adventures, like us on Facebook.